Hello everyone, it's Diane. Today is Veterans Day here in the United States. So thank you to all of you veterans who have sacrificed to help this country, to maintain our freedom. Everything that you did, I do appreciate it. Today I'm here to work on, oh, I left it over here. I am so excited. I am starting on some domestic arts Christmas journals. I only have two, and I'm doing this one right at the moment, Better Homes and Gardens, Christmas from the Heart, and then I'll be doing decorating craft ideas for Christmas, and this is a 1984 book. This one is probably newer. So this is the one I started on, and I'm having so much fun. I just love doing these domestic arts journals. They are just so much fun. So I've got one signature pretty well going here. I'm just doing a few more embellishments before I move on to the next signature. So I'm just going to work on some embellishments right now. I was going to make one for this signature, and then I thought, well, I'll just turn the camera on and I'll do a bunch of them so I have them ready. So what I've done is, so far, I have some Christmas fabrics, I have some trims, and I've gathered some pieces of ephemera, some printables. All of these really awesome printables are from, I think they're from Nick the Booksmith. And these are great. And then I just got these in a Happy Mail. And I got several Happy Mails last week, so I'm not going to say who sent it because I need to refresh my memory on who sent what. But I love these. And they also sent me this. So I've got these gathered. And then some vintage ephemera I've gathered. I did these slide mounts, and I had painted them gold. I showed them in a previous video. So I have them, and I have some red tickets. I have some sticker labels that I've gotten at flea markets, and this one, which I love, and just some other pieces of vintage ephemera that I've collected over here. So I'm just going to make some little collages with fabrics and ephemera pieces. So right now I've already stitched these two pieces together. This is a piece of the Christmas fairy fabric, and it just had a little bit of the fairy's body and legs and kind of looked disembodied. So I wanted to use the fabric but didn't want to have a headless fairy. So I sewed this little piece of a vintage tablecloth on it, and I just placed the things that I was using. Something like this. I'll just go ahead with this. And so I covered up the rest of, I think it was smaller. I had a smaller piece there. What did I do with it? Oh, and I found these in my stash, and I wish that I had remembered I had them. I've had them for a long time, but I just did a 12 Days of Christmas journal, and these are 12 Days of Christmas stamps from the American Lung Association, I think. So they would have been cool, but I do have those I can use. Okay, so I'll just find something else to put here. I didn't want something that big. I know I want to use one of these Denison labels that aren't real Denison labels. They're printables. Maybe I do want a bigger one. Forgive me while I try to figure things out. Okay, we'll go with that. I'm just gonna start sewing things down. Back that up a little bit so I can catch. It's just barely on the fabric here. I may have to put a little trim or something there. What is caught here? That seems okay. I don't know, the thread didn't want to pull out, but it seems okay now. Looks like I don't have too much thread left in that bobbin. I guess that's okay. I love these little die cuts because they're just so small and pretty and perfect for adding embellishments. So I had a busy weekend. I think I mentioned to you all that I was participating in my nephew's wedding. So we had rehearsal Friday, and I didn't get home till like 10 o'clock Friday night. And then the wedding, of course, was Saturday. It was a very nice wedding, and it was wonderful to spend some time with my family and to be a part of my nephew's wedding. He's just a great kid. The youngest of my sister's 5 sons. And the other 4 brothers were in the wedding party. They were his groomsmen. So it was a handsome row of gentlemen up there on the platform. And the bride, of course, was beautiful. She's a sweet girl, so I'm glad to have her in our family. So I guess that'll be one, and I'd started out making it for this one, so it would go something like this. It's kind of bigger than I expected it to be, but that's okay. I could have moved this over further so it didn't stick out so far, but that's alright, and I'll just make it into a tuck spot. So let's get on to the next one. I have this little piece of fabric. I have this vintage trim. This was sent to me either by Eve or Leslie. The nice thing about these things is you don't mind, you know how we tend to hoard our vintage things? We don't mind using these because I can always print more, as long as I have ink in my machine, my printer. I was thinking I did have some vintage Denison labels, but I'm not sure. Maybe I was just thinking of these. Now these are large, but I can cut them. I do have a lot. I have a lot of these, so they're some of them are different, but I don't mind cutting them and using them because I have a lot, so I don't need to hoard. But they are sticky, so I would have to glue instead of sew. These, I don't remember if they're from Nick the Booksmith. They're not specifically Christmas, but there were red ones and green ones, and they look Christmassy to me because of the striped edges. So I thought they were fun. So I don't know what I'm doing yet. I'm just playing. There's a small little cluster. Keep it small this time. I should probably glue it, but I'm not going to. I'll glue this part, or sew this part on first. So the rehearsal was Friday, the wedding was Saturday. Yesterday I taught my ladies class at church, and then my kids came over and grandkids came over for lunch. And while they watched a movie after lunch, I made oatmeal cookies for everybody. Today, I'm in my craft room. I did go to the flea market because it's the first Monday that it hasn't rained in, I think it rained for 3 Mondays in a row. And I know there aren't very many people down there in this weather. There was frost on the ground. It was like 31 degrees this morning. But I had to take my car to get it inspected just down the road a piece. So I just went down to the flea market to see if anybody was there first before I dropped my car off. And there were some people there, a few, so I got out and I got a few things. It's all men. No ladies are setting up down there, it's all men. And then Dave, the blue van man, showed up with his van while I was making my purchases at the other vendor. And I know people usually help him unload his van. He's old and he's got Parkinson's. He shakes a lot. And so anyway, I didn't want to leave without seeing what Dave had. So there's a nice small cluster. I like that one. So I offered to help him because nobody else was offering. Usually people are over there helping him unload, but nobody was there helping him. So I offered to help him. So I was hauling things out of his van for him. And he said, "I'm afraid you're going to be disappointed." I said, "I don't mind helping. It didn't matter if I found anything in his van or not." But I did. I found, I think it was 3 books and some buttons. Old buttons. But I dropped my car off on the way home and then walked home. So I put all my purchases in the trunk and left them there. So I don't know how long my car is going to be at the shop. I get groceries on Monday usually, but I don't have to. I'll just be patient and wait. This is a piece of really soft flannel. I thought this would be fun to use. So whenever I get my car back, get my things out of the trunk, I will show them to you. It's Veterans Day. Dave said he thought there would be more people there. And I said, well, there's also frost on the ground. He said, yeah. Okay, that's pretty. So I'll put like 3 of these little red dots up there and I'll glue them down. I think I'll just stitch the fabric here and then glue everything else. I got a dot stuck to my finger. I woke up yesterday morning. Sometimes I'm disoriented as to what day it is when I first wake up. Especially since I just work from home and so I don't have to go to work, but I do have things to do. I have, like on Sundays I go to church and other responsibilities that I do. But anyway, I woke up yesterday and thought, yay, I get to work on my domestic arts journals today. Because I had started these pages Saturday before the wedding. The wedding was in the afternoon. So I got to start on them and I was having so much fun I didn't want to quit. So then I woke up Sunday and thought I get to spend the day working on this journal. And then I remembered, oh, it's Sunday. I'm not doing that yet. I have things to do today. So today's the day. Oh, I've been doing quite a bit better. Parts of the wedding were hard for me. Just, memories of my husband. And there was a little table at the reception that had photographs of loved ones that were in heaven. A couple of Maddie's aunts, I think, and James's uncle, which was my husband, and his aunt, which was my sister. So that brought tears. But all in all, I'm doing better lately. I have a more positive mindset and feeling a little happier and really, really enjoying what I'm doing. I know some of you have told me that you pray for me, and I appreciate it, but I just wanted to give you an update. Thanks for your prayers. Gail says she prays for me every night. Isn't she sweet? I pray for you too, Gail. I like that cluster. You getting bored yet? I'm not. I want to include some lace on this one. I might sew some buttons on some of these clusters too. So if I put a button on there, that would be a nice simple one. Look at some of these buttons. They're great. Look at these gigantic ones. They're so cool. These are not vintage, of course. These are not buttons that I just got at the flea market. They are buttons that I got at my friend's house. She was getting rid of her some of her craft stuff. Okay, so I'll probably do that, but I'll do those later. Sew the buttons on later. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll do at least one more. This striped fabric is fun. I love this. Very Christmassy. Use some of this ribbon, lace and ribbon.